Hey guys, it's Rick Rose here, County Supervisor. I'm sitting in the heart of District 16, which I'm fortunate to represent right here on the east side of Madison. And sitting next to me, chatting with me, is John Welch. John is the Director of Dane County Waste and Renewables.
Perfect.
That's great. Could I have picked a hotter day? Man, it's blasted. But you keep doing what you're doing no matter what the weather, huh?
Absolutely, yep.
It's great. So let's talk about waste and then let's talk about renewables. One of the things you just shared with me before we started rolling camera was this new trash lab that you got. What's that all about?
Yeah, I think, we do a lot of great things at our site, but a key piece of that has to be education and working with the public so they understand how the decisions they make interact with waste and have a bigger impact on the environment. So we have a new project that we've built in conjunction with the Madison Children's Museum, and it's called the Trash Lab, and it's basically a mobile interactive classroom. So a highly interactive educational mobile exhibit that we can take around to classrooms and festivals and fairs and share with the community.
So you learn about what recycling is, or?
All sorts of stuff. We learn about renewable energy, how landfills work, how we protect the environment, how it's a larger social impact on our community, recycling. So like there's a little magnetic puzzle for kids that they can see the things they put in a recycling can, what do they get turned into? So a lot of cool.
That's cool.
Ways to learn.
Did your staff work on it, or did you work with a company that specialized in trash labs?
Yeah, it was our staff really worked on that, and they partnered with the Madison Children's Museum, and the Children's Museum helped design and build that in conjunction with our staff. Yeah.
That's great. And you almost caught the camera. It's about to fall. You're quick. Must have played sports or something. I didn't even see it happening. Well, that's really cool. Another thing I know is we're planning an expansion of some of the decisions we're making, both you and my group. We're making decisions about the future and the need to expand landfill. Part of that, though, is this cool concept on sustainability. Can you tell our listeners, viewers, a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So our current landfill is almost full. We've got about 8 years left there, and it takes about 6 to 8 years to site a new landfill. So we started that process on finding a site. When we look at a site, we want to look long term. We don't want a site that's going to serve us for 10 years. So as we're looking at a site that could serve us for 50 or 75 years or more, immediately we have to start thinking about long-term planning. We don't want to still be doing the same things with all of our waste in 20 or 30 years that we're doing today. We don't want to continue to throw away all the things that we're throwing away today. So how can we look to the future of waste management? Look at waste as a resource that's being wasted, and how can we capture that resource and reuse it? So we're designing not only a landfill at the new site, but also a sustainability campus, which will hopefully help drive that change towards a more circular economy, encourage recycling, diversion, reuse businesses right here locally in Dane County.
It's so innovative. I've had the pleasure, we've worked in the past in my other life, which is children's education. But also the other supervisors, I'm new to this position, have shared so much about how Dane County, I'm just gonna brag a little bit because we're Dane County, part of it, is kind of in the forefront of some of these things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very, very fortunate. I talk to my colleagues all over North America about the projects we do. We have prairie grass planting on top of our landfill. We recycle 80,000 tons of construction waste. We have a year-round household hazardous waste. We make 3 million gallons a year of renewable fuel off of landfill gas. All these things we do, you just don't find all those at another landfill. And I tell my colleagues about this, and their jaws just hit the table. And the first question they ask me is like, how did you get your elected officials to agree?
Oh, really?
Because
That's
there's
great.
a lot of people in our space have these great innovative ideas, but it takes some risk and some forethought to actually implement them. And so it's really a credit to the county board and the county executive, and it's a credit to our citizens because
Absolutely.
Our citizens here in Dane County almost require this, and we're very fortunate that we're allowed to come up with these crazy innovative ideas and see them through to implementation.
That's awesome. I love what you're preaching here is that, preaching but sharing, waste isn't waste, right? There's so much more you can do with waste. And I'll tell you, what you guys do has been an inspiration for me as I'm looking at the development of the great land we have around here, right? It's a natural resource. We do so many things sometimes, and I've shared this leading up to my election, is we just go and we build single family homes or multi-purpose homes. We don't look at true innovation sometimes, in my opinion. And we are living in a county that really seeks that. So I'm inspired by the things you guys do to help us get there. Let's looking at Judson's life. What does life look like in Dane County when it relates to things like solar and other renewable resources?
Yeah, I think again, there's an area where we can be leaders. Dane County, part of the efforts my department's working on with the county executive office and others, we just had a groundbreaking last week for a large solar field just east of the landfill.
Saw that.
So it's going to be over 17 megawatt facility, and with that, the county will be at 100% renewable electricity. with
100%.
all of its operations and county operations.
That's crazy. By what year will that?
That's going to be next year, early next year. That will be operational, and we'll have hit our goal.
That is unheard of. That is totally cool. Now, you couldn't do this alone. Tell us about the size of the Dane County facility and just all the people that work with you.
Yeah, we've got an amazing team of people that work with us. We've got about 30 to 35 full-time staff. From our frontline operations folks every single day handling, over 200,000 tons of waste in a year. The clean sweep folks we have very dedicated staff that run a 24/7 operation. That's our renewable natural gas. That facility brings in over $12 million a year in revenue for the county. So all the way to our engineers, our office staff, we have a very dedicated staff, and they're very innovative. I love that they come to me with all these ideas, and we're able to say, yeah, let's create a business case, because it has to make economic sense and economic sense and environmental sense. And then we come up with these ideas, take them to the county board, take them to the county exec, and we can show this is how we're going to do it and how it's going to have a positive impact financially and environmentally.
That's cool. It takes a village for sure, and I love that you've given compliments to everybody that's involved in it. You can't unilaterally make these decisions when they affect lives. I think that's one of the beautiful things I love about. That was going to happen, John. But we'll just keep going. About county government and local government it really is your everyday life things, right? Like, waste is something we deal with. Like, I'm in my waste cans, because I have two separate cans, probably 20 times during the day. So it's quite incredible. I got to just ask you one last personal question before we wrap it up and before the camera crashes again. But what got you into this? I mean, a lot of people are probably like, why would someone want to do this work when they could be a doctor or a pro athlete?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's actually everyone in our industry. The first question you ask is, well, how'd you get into this? Because there's only one college degree in the entire nation that's waste management.
Really?
So like most people go into engineering or marketing or something else, and they fall into this. And that's really what happened with me, but like I just love it. I'm passionate about it. I would never want to leave this. As an engineer, we love to solve problems. But not to disrespect other engineers, but there's a lot of other industries with road building, for example. They've done the same thing for 100 years.
Yeah,
they know how to design roads, and then, there's not a ton of innovation every single year. And the waste and recycling industry, most of the regulations came about in the mid-90s. And so we only had about 30 years of a lot of innovation. And so there's kind of that mindset within our industry of like, okay, what's happening next? What's that new waste? How are we going to handle it? What new technology can we apply to divert more waste? So for me, that's just really exciting to always have those new opportunities.
You've got me excited about it. That's awesome. I always like to wrap up when I've had previous directors here, Laura being the last one that deals with the beautiful land and natural resources we have. But how can people learn about what's the best communication tool for someone that's listening to us to follow what you guys are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Go on our website. We've got a number of cool, really short videos you can learn about us. Frequently asked questions and things there. You can sign up for a tour for our site. So pre-COVID, we did 150 tours a year. We have a little mini tour bus that runs on landfill gas.
No, come on.
So, yeah, absolutely.
That's fun just to take that around.
Yeah, exactly. So come do a tour with us. We also are having look for where our trash lab is. It's out in the community almost every single week, every single weekend. And then we're doing, first time ever, we're doing an open house this year. So August 20th, it's a Saturday from 11:30 to 3:30. Come on out to our site. We'll have refreshments and education and tours for everybody. It'll be a great event.
That's awesome. I'll be sure to post it on any of the Rick Rose for Dane County sites about that particular event. I didn't even know that was coming, so I'm glad you told me. I'm sure I would have eventually stumbled upon it, but that sounds like a great event. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, guys.